Well, I want to continue with this tape. When I moved to Richfield in '08 and had to leave because of the chemicals, and I got in there within a couple of months, you're told that, well, it's a retirement village, that there's a list, but when Terry Sawyer and the law took me in there to get soaked with chemicals, well, I got right in. Now then, that I can't even get into Section 8, um, you know, it's supposed to be if you're a felon or evicted or an owe rent. I've paid my rent. And when they're requiring a background check everywhere I've lived suddenly, like I'm this worst criminal. Well, Sanford is the woman that sent me the rejection again here. I just got. She was over Section 8, this building at Richfield when I was there before. And when I had to leave, it's pretty hard to know these people have done this to you and should be locked up. And to have to go back and beg, and really that's it for a place to live. And she sent me at that time, that Equifax out of Atlanta had denied that I had really bad credit. Well, if I do, ask yourself why. I mean, they have made a smear campaign just like they did my father. And I want to mention another woman to look up in this, Jean Seberg, who was murdered November of '79, and look what was done to her. So I contacted, she did tell me Equifax. I called them, release of information, and they told me they'd never heard of me. So now then I've had to reapply again. This is the second time to beg to go back in to here to have a place. I was referred to Renee Williams. I had a letter. Well, okay, what I wanted to say was on my email, I emailed her and got through to her, and then I emailed her again in letters back and forth and filled out the application and all that, and was told they had a waiting list. And then I got this letter reply at the bottom of my email the other day, and I put this on prior tapes. Now it's been deleted. Where she had something about, I don't even know what the numbers, but she said something about it was for, I don't know if it was for her eyes only. Well, she's seen it, so I guess that was it. But that no one else could see it, and it was a health issue is what she said. And that if I copied any of it, I guess she knows the people now know I've resorted to YouTube and to Facebook since I can't get an attorney or a law to work for me. And she's telling me that it's illegal to copy it and put or do anything with it. And now then it's been deleted. But I get this letter, so I put phone calls through to Ms. Williams, who I was bumped up to, Renee Williams, and get this email. Now then the email, I've only contacted her by email a couple of times just to check up and see if I could get a place. It had been approved, my application. And remember, I left there and broke the lease because they're soaking me in chemicals. And it comes back that they can't deliver it because she's marked it as spam. Spam mail. I laugh because all of this is so ludicrous. It's unbelievable they can get away with it. So now then I get a rejection from it, and they bumped it back to Sanford, the woman who was there in the beginning and when I was there, and Tina Nolan, whoever the heck she is. Where's her name here? Tina Nolan and Sanford actually signed it. Now then on this rejection, it's got Equifax there. It's not marked. Nothing else is marked. And here's where I want to zero in. They have marked other as explained, previous abandonment of property and leaving the unit in need of cleaning, partial security deposit was held to help rectify the unnecessary expense. I want to address that. First of all, the reason I left was because of the chemicals, and it was deliberate, and you'd have to be there and be party to the conversations and what happened. It looked like there was a woman on the second floor where I was. She was kind of like the monitor of that floor. And her sister and the Methodist Church in Salem got together and put together some pots and pans and an old bed. Really, I'll go ahead and say it. I was glad to get up off the floor in my backpack and my sleeping bag, and But it was a small studio apartment, and I was glad to get it. And that was beautiful out there, but beautiful not the way they treated me. But she helped get together a few pieces of furniture and stuff, and some clothes. I had no clothes. Somebody brought in their daughter's clothes and left for me. So when I had to leave, I was so sick. I talked to this woman. I mean, this floored me when I got this from her. Now, a rejection. She very well knows Allison Sanford. Now, she's used that I left property and the unit needed cleaning. Before I left, I gave the reason. I went to her so many times. And this one should be really the one that they bring up, too, if it could go into court. They should be put in jail and prison. There's no amount of money that could even repay me for the damage done. And to having to beg them again, here it is. Before I left, I gave the notice and why, and she knew that. You'd have to hear all the conversations. But the lady that had helped, this was all planned before I got there. My coming there when and what was going to happen, all of it, just like before, and my being gassed. Now, the monitor, the lady that lived there, her sister helped in all this, the church. It was already planned that I was going to have to leave because I'd be gassed so bad I'd have to, and I would leave. And a member of their church, I believe they said son, was going off to college, and he could use a bit of furniture and linen and stuff that I had that they had donated to me, this poor pauper. And I gave her a chair that had been donated. It was a recliner, and I gave her some furniture I had bought. A woman died, and it was a really nice sofa I bought from her. So this is the monitor lady that helped get together the furniture, the bit I had in the first place, and a member of the church is going to get it back. The son's going off to college, and he can use it. Now then, I gave her furniture, and she said, and this was okayed with Ms. Sanford here. This is what got me. You talk out and out lies. They're above the law, just like Linda Barton, the state trooper, Virginia state trooper's wife, said Americans are above the law. This would prove it every step of the way. So this was all okay. And I was going to move out, and the monitor, the lady that had helped move furniture and collect it in, and I had given her the sofa and some other stuff in return for cleaning the apartment when I left. I mean, it wasn't dirty anyway, but, and here she's using that against me. And she very well knew it. This is a denial. This is of me getting residency. It's a lie. And first of all, I didn't know that. And they're using, anyway. It's my understanding that if there's any law in the HUD, that it's if you're a felon or if you've left being evicted. Well, here they kept part of my money. They kept part of my money at the other two places, and I've had to go back and beg there and been rejected. So I'm going to leave it at that, and if this is Edinburgh. So you do understand that it would take God coming in to bring about any kind of justice in it. And how you going to have a prison big enough to hold them all? Now, that's the reason that I put down here, they've used my illness against me, and I'm to torture me and kill me, really. and they could laugh about it. This has been